Welcome to this introduction of the Loot Divider. Designed to assist you in your Pathfinder or D&D 3.5 games, the Loot Divider will save you time and effort in splitting the many treasures found during adventuring. This introduction will show you how to start using this unique tool. While the user guide page contains more information on how to use the Loot Divider, the options page gives you a few things you can set, like the names of the players in your group. The treasure page is the most important sheet found in the Loot Divider. This is where you will enter the treasure found while adventuring. You can input your values in any of the white areas. The gray areas are reserved for computations. As seen here, the Loot Divider is currently set up to split the revenues from treasure amongst 4 players. Adjust this value according to the number of players in your group. The selling rate is the percentage at which you can sell your loot as given by your dungeon master. Although this is a general value, you will be able to use different rates for specific items. Let's use a rate of 50%. The first thing you should do is to add a title as a reminder of where you found these items. To add a title, just type it. The Loot Divider will apply format to show the separation. There are 3 ways to add items. If you know the syntax, you can just type the name. For instance, a dagger is pretty simple to type in. You can also use the selection list to set the list from which you want to choose items from. For example, you can set the list to rings. When entering an item, all the available rings will be displayed in a list. Select the desired ring. Finally, if you have the 32 bits version of Excel, you can use the Quick Pick button to choose an item. The item will be inserted at the cursor position, if this is a valid position, or else it will be added in the first free slot available. Note that you can create custom items in the data sheet. The quantity column is used when you have more than one item. By default, the Loot Divider always assumes 1 item per line. But if you found 2 of the same items, just type 2. To apply magical properties, simply enclose the properties inside square brackets. For example, a masterwork dagger would be defined with the MW property. If an item has more than one property, use commas to separate the properties. For example, we create a +1 magical long sword with the holy property. As you can see, the Loot Divider automatically computes the value. The same method can be used for special materials. If this long sword is made of silver, we just add silver inside the property's definition. The value is updated automatically. The Loot Divider can handle up to 6 properties for a single item. The table sheet has a list of all the properties defined in the Loot Divider. You can create your own custom properties on that sheet. If you require help to create items with properties and special materials, use the Item Builder sheet. If you find an item of unknown value, append the item name with a question mark. For example, you find a weird onyx ring. Type it with a question mark at the end. The Loot Divider will show it as an unknown valued item and change the color to red. Later, once you know the value of the ring, you can use the $sign to tell the Loot Divider the amount it can be sold for. Instead of the question mark, use the $sign, followed by the sell amount, in gold pieces. Another good example is jewelry. If you find a chest full of jewels, you can just type the total sell amount, as opposed to entering each item one by one. You can also use the $sign to enter amounts of money found. Type gold, the $sign, then the amount found. You can also do the same for platinum, silver, and copper. The Loot Divider will automatically convert the value to gold for any of these currencies as per the standard exchange rates. For example, type platinum followed by the $sign, then 10. As you can see, these 10 platinum pieces are worth 100 gold pieces. Monetary amounts are not subject to the selling rate. The $sign can also be used for negative number, which is useful when buying something using the group funds. Just add a negative sign in front of the value. For example, we purchase a potion of Cure Light Wounds using the group funds. The total amount is reduced accordingly. If an item is given to a player, you can use the Assign to column to denote who gets this item. Just select or type the character name that will get the item. In this case, the item will not be sold and it will be tagged green. You can also use the Assign to column to add small notes by enclosing them in parentheses. The is especially useful to note the remaining charges of items that use charges. When you sell an item that uses charges, you can tell the loot divider the proportion of charges left in the item, by using the quantity column. For example, to sell a wand of fear that has 22 charges left out of the 50 it started with, use a simple formula to get the remaining value. Since the standard price is for a wand with 50 charges, this allows you to sell used wands. At some point, you might want to split the gold received from selling items. In this case, each character makes a note of the portion of the gold he receives. Then you use the $sign to cancel out the total amount, with a negative value equal to it. Once this is done, your total is back at 0, and you can continue adding loot. We hope you have enjoyed this introduction to the loot divider. If you have any questions, post them on the community forum or on our Discord server. Thank you for watching.